Like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment for more. Ghost Emperor Wild Wife Dandy Eldest Miss Chapter 11 to 20. Chapter 11, The Crown Prince's Visit 4. When the words dissolving the engagement was mentioned, Yun Luo's face was clearly not good. However, the youth's following words moved Yun Luo completely. After all, Yun Luofeng's inability to cultivate pained his heart. If it could make her cultivate like a normal person with even just average talent, he would have no regrets. General Yun Luo, Jing Lin coldly harumphed, us imperial physicians of the imperial family have always only treated the imperial family. If it weren't for the crown prince coming to look for me, I wouldn't help. I hope you will cherish this opportunity. If you miss this, I'm afraid that Yun Luofeng won't be able to practice in this lifetime. Yun Luo deeply frowned, as if he was thinking about something. Just before he could make up his mind, a young girl's melodious voice suddenly spoke out, breaking his contemplation. Grandfather, I don't need someone else to diagnose my body. Before Yun Luo had made a decision, she had already made her decision known. Yun Luofeng. The youth finally couldn't continue to sit down and suddenly stood up. His handsome face had a hint of a sneer on it and was no longer calm like before. You're that fond of pestering this prince. For this prince, you are willing to be a waste. Gao Ling's face was really unsightly as he tightly clenched his fists. If that old man Yun Luo wasn't here, his fist would definitely land on Yun Luofeng. Yun Luofeng eyed Gao Ling up and down, her lips curved, which evoked a touch of wickedness. Your Imperial Highness the Crown Prince, aren't you thinking too highly of yourself? If you, a man without good looks or figure, were sent to my bed, I wouldn't even deign to look at you. You. Gao Ling's face grew more and more livid, his whole body couldn't hold in his chilling aura. Like the sharpness of a sword, his sharp eyes stared at Yun Luofeng. In a cold voice, he said, You are simply shameless. General Yun Luo, what a great granddaughter you have raised. Anyhow, he was the most handsome man in Longyuan. In the end, this woman actually said he didn't have a well-defined figure or good looks. It should be known that in Longyuan, women who wanted to marry him could be lined up from here all the way up to a really far away place like the spiritual beast forest. That's right, I certainly haven't taught my granddaughter well. For Longyuan, I left my 4-year-old granddaughter to go to a place like the border. Once I left, I was gone for 10 years, how do you want me to manage her? Yun Luo had originally been scared by Yun Luofeng's astonishing words, but he recovered his wits only to hear the accusations of Gao Ling. His geriatric face had abruptly darkened. For Longyuan, he left home for a decade. In the end, His Imperial Highness the Crown Prince of Longyuan criticized him for not teaching his granddaughter well. How could this not make him feel disappointed? Gao Ling's face changed slightly, he also knew that he had misspoken. So, he once again turned toward Yun Luofeng. Yun Luofeng, this prince does not care that you are a waste, I am still willing to fulfill the promise to marry you. But you, to have done such an indecent thing, even if this prince divorce you, it would still be your own fault. Even then, this crown prince thought for the sake of the general's effort and labor for Longyuan, I decided to help you cultivate. But you chose to continue to pester this prince. A person should have some self-knowledge. Things that aren't yours will never be yours. Gao Ling sneered, each word carried thorns and was extremely sharp. In fact, Crown Prince Gao Ling's temper was widely known for being good-natured, it was only a bit wild in the face of Yun Luofeng. Who let this waste be his fiancée? How could he not be so disgusted with her? Over the years, as long as he saw her, he would be easily angered, he simply could not restrain himself. However, this Yun Luofeng was like a dog skin plaster and could not be shaken off no matter what. Chapter 12, The Crown Prince's Visit 5. Does Crown Prince not understand human speech? Yun Luofeng's brow slightly pinched, her eyes glancing over to Jing Lin and a devilish smile remained on her lips. I didn't refuse his treatment because I wanted to pester you. It's because he doesn't have the ability to cure my constitution with his medical skills. According to Xiao Mo, her inability to cultivate was not caused by an illness, instead, it was because her constitution is too special. So, even if Jing Lin's medical skills are great, it was still impossible for him to treat her. Jing Lin's eyes suddenly become extremely fierce as he coldly said, Yun Luofeng, treating a trash like you would be a waste of herbs. If it wasn't for the Crown Prince's goodwill, do you think I would pay attention to you? Since you do not need me for treatment, then you can be a waste your whole life. Can you really be so stupid to give up such a good opportunity? Bang! Yan Luo smashed the table with a great amount of force. In an instant, the table was broken into two parts, tea spilling onto the ground. Jing Lin, where do you think you are? Even if my granddaughter is a trash, there are millions of lions in my Yun family supporting her from behind, and no one would dare to bully her. Good, very good. Jing Lin was extremely angry and maliciously laughed. Yan Luo, since you underestimate us imperial physicians, do not regret it in the future. When you are seriously injured and cannot be treated, do not come to the palace and invite us. Ha! Yan Luo sneered, curled his lips and snarled, 10 years ago, my second son Yun Qingye was seriously injured. Originally, as the imperial physician, you could have cured him. Yet when I went to the palace to invite you, no one helped us. You harmed my first son and caused my second son to die as well. Also, if you really wanted to help my granddaughter, why didn't you help her when problems appeared in her body back then and she could not cultivate? But now you stand up and pretend to be benevolent. Do you think if I suffered a serious injury or something that I would put down my pride and beg you? Hearing the hatred in the old guy's voice, Yan Luofeng's eyes flashed a stern light. It seemed like once these people go, she would have to ask this old guy about the truth behind her father and uncle's death. Fine. Jing Lin gritted his teeth. Crown Prince, I see that you do not need to go to such pains for Yan Luofeng, that trash. No one from the Yun family can be saved. HMPH. Having said this, he flung his sleeves and turned around to leave the hall. However, when he reached the door, with his back to Yan Luo, he ferociously said, Yan Luo, in the future if you want your granddaughter to be treated, even if you knelt down and begged me, I would not help your Yun family. Scram. My granddaughter does not need you to worry about her. I will not let anyone hurt her for as long as I live. Yan Luo scowled and even cursed. It was apparent that he was incredibly angered by Jing Lin. Gao Ling looked at Yan Luo and did not say anything. He quickly walked out, but before he left, he involuntarily swept a glance at Yan Luofeng. His eyes were filled with disgust as usual. Old man, call me grandfather. Yan Luo angrily sat down, staring at Yan Luofeng in a bad mood. Yan Luofeng touched her nose. Grandfather, that year, what happened with my parents and second uncle? You can tell me. Hearing this, Yan Luo suddenly became dispirited. He was probably recalling matters from the past, and his eyes filled with grief. This is a long story. When your father was the junior general of Longyuan, he was sent by His Majesty to fight with the enemy's army. The result was that the current Prime Minister Mu divulged the war intelligence which caused both of your parents to be killed by the enemy. Because of this matter, I fought with that rascal Mu Xingqiu and sent troops to trample his estate. Chapter 13, Yun Family's Number 1 Genius, Yun Qingye, 1. What was the situation with second uncle? Yan Luofeng was silent for a moment before asking, is his death related to Jing Lin? Yan Luo smiled wryly, Jing Lin didn't cause your uncle's death, he just looked and did nothing to help. Your uncle was the Yun family's number 1 genius. As a youth, he was full of ambition and high-spirited. He became a middle-level, peak-rank spirit cultivator at a young age, a sensation that moved all of Longyuan. But, one time, he fought against someone who was very arrogant and that person lost. How could that person be willing to lose? So, in the end, he sent some skilled masters to kill your second uncle to wash away his shame. When he finished saying this, Yan Luo tightly clenched his fists, his old body kept shaking and his eyes were filled with hatred. Even though your second uncle was talented, he was too young. He had not even matured yet, how could he fight against so many strong experts? But he still desperately tried to escape. When he was covered with blood and crawled home, I went to the imperial palace to plead with those imperial physicians to help, but those people had been blocked by that beast Jing Lin. He did not let them treat your second uncle, I even knelt down, and he still did not help. At first, Yan Luo did not think to let Yun Qingye play dead, so he went to the palace for help. Playing dead was Yun Qingye's own idea. If the people from that power learned he was still alive, not only would they continue to send experts, they also wouldn't let the Yun family off. In the secular world, the Yun family's strength is very powerful, but it was nothing compared with that force. Does Jing Lin have a grudge against us, the Yun family? This was what Yan Luofeng wanted to ask most. Yan Luo nodded his head. Jing Lin and Prime Minister Mu have a good relationship. He is the master of Mu Wushang, that rascal, Mu Xingqiu's granddaughter. It was only after hearing this that Yan Luofeng finally understood. The original owner of the body knew nothing except how to chase after His Highness the Crown Prince and did not care about other things. So only now did she learn of the relationship between Jing Lin and the Mu family. The Emperor. Yun Luofeng creased her brows. My parents sacrificed themselves for the kingdom, and you also devoted your whole life to the kingdom of Longyuan, but when my uncle was seriously injured, he had nothing to say. Yun Luo's eye darkened a bit. Seeing his face, Yun Luofeng could guess what he was thinking and couldn't help but sneer. This emperor, why do you want to fight for him? Fenger, you are wrong. I fight for the kingdom, not for His Majesty the Emperor. I did it for the ordinary citizens of Longyuan Kingdom. Ordinary citizens. Yun Luofeng donned a stern smile. For the sake of these ordinary citizen, you could give up revenge for my parents. You could give up on second uncle back then. Grandfather, you and I are not the same. I do not care about the world's masses, nor those ordinary citizen. Whoever touches my loved ones, even if it means going against the heavens, I will avenge them. The young girl's facial features were arrogant and her words uninhibited. It scared General Yun Luo so much that his eyes widened. It was as if this was his first time getting to know this granddaughter of his, whom he had not seen for many years. Grandfather, you may have done it for the common people, but did the common people have mercy on you? After the death of father and mother, did someone come out and trample the Mu estate with you? Besides your army, who helped you? When second uncle was seriously injured, did the common people stand up and plead for you? No. Then why did you devote your life to them? Yun Luo was silent. He knows what Yun Luofeng said is not wrong. He gave up so much for Longyuan Kingdom, but when he needed help, no one helped him. You were a meritorious official, and your son and your daughter-in-law were sacrificed for the kingdom, but when your second son needed help and only needed one imperial edict for the matter to be resolved. But he didn't do it. An emperor like this is not worthy of your loyalty. Chapter 14, Yun Family's Number 1 Genius, Yun Qingye 2. That's right, Yun Luo wryly smiled. I dedicated myself to the kingdom, but back then, when I was in mortal danger, he didn't help. When I left Longyuan Kingdom for a decade, he did not even take good care of you. I have lost both your parents for this kingdom. I cannot afford to lose you too, but I'm already old and can only protect you for a few more years. If your second uncle can recover, you may be able to live under his protection. Yun Luo did not dare to imagine how this girl would continue living after his passing. What did you just say? For a moment, Yun Luofeng felt her ears were having problems. She asked again, a bit incredulous, you said second uncle. Isn't second uncle already? Fenger, you were too young back then and we couldn't let you know some things or your second uncle's life would be in danger once again. Yun Luo sighed and said, in truth, your uncle did not die, he has been alive all this time. But unfortunately, after the supposed death of your second uncle, those people that tried to kill your second uncle have been keeping an eye on the Yun family. Those people did not leave until a few years ago. Even so, I did dare not let your second uncle appear, because if that power knew, then they would come to kill your second uncle again. They also would not let the Yun family off. That matter not only caused Yun Qingye's heart to be in pain, but it also caused him to be in pain as well. If Yun Qingye had not met with misfortune, then the Yun family would not be reduced to this state today. Do not look at the current power in his hand because this power was still controlled by the imperial family. If they want him to return, he had to. Grandfather, is what you say true? Second uncle is still alive. Yun Luofeng's eyes flashed for a second. Toward this uncle, she had always been full of curiosity. And now that he was still alive and in this world, how can she not be excited? Your second uncle really didn't die, but his body is disabled. In fact, if those imperial physicians lent a hand, then your uncle would not have become the way he is now. Now, he cannot walk, his dantian is wasted, and he can no longer recover. Grandfather, I want to see second uncle. Yun Luofeng raised her beautiful face and firmly said. Since she had the medical god's code in her possession, she had the confidence to heal any type of incurable disease. However, before that, she must first examine Yun Qingye. Then, she will know the suitable remedy. The dark, humid chamber and moist pavement made Yun Luofeng frown slightly. From the side, Yun Luo did not see her face, so he kept on talking. Over the years, in order to avoid the eyes and ears of that force, your uncle has been living here. I have my confidant send him food and water every day. His voice faded, and the two walked to a stone chamber. Yun Luo pressed a switch on the wall, and a bang rang out as the door of the stone chamber opened. The inside was not as wet as the outside. It was clean and elegant and had a sandalwood scent. A man was holding a book in a wheelchair. His mouth faintly curved into a slight arc, and then he slowly raised his head when he heard the doors opening. His cold eyes looked at the old man and young person at the door, and his eyes gradually warmed. A truly elegant, Cantabile-like, virtuous, magnificent, and peerless man. After Yun Luo Feng saw the man's stunning appearance, she could not help but sigh. Grandfather, the people say the Crown Prince Gao Ling is the most beautiful man in Longyuan Kingdom, but I think second uncle suits this title more. Gao Ling is nothing compared with second uncle. Chapter 15, Yun Family's Number 1 Genius, Yun Qingye 3. My girl, I haven't seen you for many years, and you have actually become so glib. I am now just a disabled man, how could I compare with others? Yun Qingye helplessly said with a chuckle. Second uncle, don't self-depreciate yourself. Even now, Gao Ling couldn't hope to compare. Not to mention, you will not be sitting in a wheelchair for much longer. Between entering this stone chamber and now, she had almost finished analyzing Yun Qingye's condition. Even if there was no medical God's code, due to her past life of practice in the medical field, treating his legs would not be a problem. But there was some difficulty in restoring his soul realm. Yun Qingye's face showed a touch of a wry smile. Girl, the veins in second uncle's leg are blocked, and even the ability to stand up is gone. All of my strength is wasted, now I am just struggling to survive and secretly living a life like a trash. Once upon a time, he was the number 1 genius who stirred all of Longyuan Kingdom. How high-spirited was he? No matter where he went, he was always eye-catching. Today, within a mere 10 years, his will was demolished and he looked down on himself. Yun Luo Feng's heart slightly ached. This was most gifted youth. I don't believe that anyone in this world is a waste. Yun Luo Feng's lip curled into a smile. Even if you do not have the strength, you can also show other areas of your ability. The first condition is that you have to stand up from this wheelchair. Grandfather, second uncle, I actually got myself a master in secret during these past years. I am learning medicine with him. I believe that, in time, I will have the ability to let second uncle stand up again. The medical God's code was extremely important, so she could not tell even her family about this and had to draw up a lie. Anyway, these years, Yun Qingye has been within the stone chamber, and Yun Luo wasn't in Longyuan Kingdom. No one knew her true situation. Fenger, you're saying you are learning medicine. Yun Luo's heart was overjoyed, and then he chuckled, good, that's really good. If you can become a physician, even if your grandfather isn't here in the future, if you have medical skills, you will not suffer abuse from others. In Longshao mainland, spirit cultivators were not the only respected people. Even if you don't have the talent to cultivate, you can still thrivingly live if you possessed great wisdom, let alone respected physicians. Of course, if you did not possess talents in the martial arts or literary arts, then you are a true piece of garbage. Just like the former Yun Luo Feng. Girl, what your grandfather said isn't wrong. If you have medical skills, then you can at least make connections with many experts in the future and won't have to worry about surviving on this continent, said Yun Qingye with a smile. Knowing that Yun Luo Feng was secretly learning medicine, their first thoughts weren't about Yun Qingye's body but were about how Yun Luo Feng would not need to suffer bullying in the future. Yun Luo Feng's heart was flowing with warmth. She looked at Yun Qingye and asked, second uncle, although I can't guarantee that you will be able to regain all your strength, there's no problem getting you out of your wheelchair. I understand my body the most. If it were 10 years ago, I would have a possibility to stand up, but I've been paralyzed for so many years, so there's already no other way. Yun Qingye shook his head, and maybe because he was afraid of Yun Luo Feng being disappointed, he added, but if you are learning medicine and need to use somebody as practice, second uncle will let you try since my body has no other use. Second uncle, you don't need to worry, I will do everything I can to make you stand up. Yun Luo Feng's face bloomed into a smile, now the first thing you need to do is to leave this stone chamber. The environment of the stone chamber isn't suitable for your recovery. Chapter 16, Yun Family's Number 1 Genius, Yun Qingye 4. Yun Luo sighed, his old face had a hint of helplessness on it. Girl, your second uncle's circumstances are special. If the news that he is still alive is spread, it will definitely attract those people once again. At that time, based on the strength of our Yun family, we don't have a way to oppose them. When Yun Luo Feng heard this, she bewitchingly smiled. This matter is simple, grandfather, you will abandon us out in the mountains. While people aren't paying attention, secretly move uncle over. Tell the outside world that I am quietly recuperating in the mountains, this way no one will bother me. As everyone knows, Yun Luofeng's body is ill, resulting in her being unable to even practice. So, if she was quietly recuperating in the mountains, it is actually very convincing. Little Fenger, it'll be hard on you. Yun Qingye lifted his hand to touch Yun Luofeng's head, the cold in his eyes contained a touch of heartache. Originally you could have enjoyed a luxurious life in the Yun family, but instead you want to accompany me to live in the mountains. If I really cannot restore my legs, it does not matter, over the years, I have already accepted fate. Accepted fate. Yun Luofeng looked at this cool, fairy-like man in front of her. However, she felt that the words, accepted fate, should never come out from his mouth. Such a good man like him should be like he was 10 years ago, high-spirited. Second uncle, I will do my best to heal you, Yun Luofeng secretly decided in her mind. Her line of sight turned to the nearby Yun Luo, Grandpa, with our Yun family, there is still one matter we need to deal with. 1. Speak. He didn't know why, but the current Yun Luo had the feeling that he couldn't see his granddaughter very clearly. TL, of course you can't. She's someone else, P. This feeling made his heart very uncomfortable. Somehow he feels that in the decade he was gone, he missed too many things. Yun Luofeng's eyes flashed with determination. Grandpa, have you ever heard of such a phrase? High achievements will cover the master. You hold millions of soldiers and horses in your hands, how can that dog emperor sleep properly? If you want the Yun family to live peacefully, that military power must be let go. Otherwise, it will definitely bring the Yun family a disaster. These days, Yun Luofeng has come to understand the situation in this world. In this vast mainland, the imperial power is not supreme, above the imperial powers are strong hidden families and other forces. When those forces stamp their feet, the whole country would tremble. However, to the present Yun Luofeng, she can't help but dread that dog emperor. At least before she grows stronger, she can't get into conflict with the imperial power. High achievements will cover the master. Oh, these words are a good way of describing this situation. Yun Luo smiled wryly, his face filled with helplessness. This time I have triumphantly returned, and not only did I receive His Majesty's praise, but I also won supreme glory. But so what? The common people may admire me, but His Majesty's fear will deepen. Following a monarch is like following a tiger, this phrase can be used in any dynasty. Grandpa, you will listen to my words, Yun Luofeng stroked her chin, her smiling lips revealed a touch of evil. That military power, you will immediately return it to that dog emperor, you will have no real power and will be a general in name only, but this is enough. Even if there is no military power, you will still have the title of Long Yuan country's second strongest expert, no one will dare bully our Yun family. More importantly, only when Yun Luo returned his military power, would she was able to feel at ease and develop their own forces. Yun Luo's heart was startled, what his granddaughter said wasn't wrong. Even if they didn't have those millions of soldiers, he himself is Long Yuan country's second strongest. As long as he is still alive, in this Long Yuan country, no one would dare to bully his Yun family. Chapter 17, Yun family's number 1 genius, Yun Qingye 5. Seeing that Yun Luo was obviously moved by what she said, Yun Luofeng's lips smiled even more bewitchingly. If I take the initiative to hand over military power, instead of it needing to be recovered, they will not have the same effect. So, I want you to take this opportunity to ask the Dog Emperor to give you a death-free gold medallion. In addition, help me in bringing up a decree. That decree will state that I, Yun Luofeng, will not need to kneel to anyone of the royal family. At the same time, get my engagement dissolved. Yun Luo was shocked by her remarks and was somewhat hesitant as he said, the death-free gold medallion and dissolving the engagement can be easily done. But I am afraid that the decree isn't going to be easy. What a joke. Yun Luofeng sneered. Her whole body started to give off a pulsing aura of dominance. Between her brows was a trace of imposing dignity. I, Yun Luofeng, will not even kneel to the heavens, what right does that dog emperor and his bloodline have to make me kneel? Quote. Even heaven, she doesn't kneel to. What kind of arrogance and domineering attitude is required to say such a thing? Yun Luo and his son were stunned for a moment, this was actually the first time they have seen Yun Luofeng like this and was completely speechless. 1. Ha ha ha. Yun Luo started to laugh loudly. That laughter was filled with pleasure and spread throughout the stone chamber. Good, really worthy of being my Yun Luo's granddaughter. My granddaughter should be domineering like this. Rest assured, this matter will definitely be handled by your grandfather for you. Didn't the emperor give me a blank decree? This time, your grandfather will use this blank decree and discuss it for you. Yun Luofeng wants that decree. As to the way Yun Luo uses to obtain it, is not for her to bother with. Grandpa, do you have any money? After thinking for a while, Yun Luofeng looked at that heartily laughing old man, and asked. Her current priority is to first enhance her strength. Only with strong power can she get a firm foothold on the continent. What do you want to do with the money? Maybe because Yun Luo is in a good mood, even his voice was full of laughter. If you have anything you need to buy, I will get people to accompany you. Oh, it's like this, Yun Luofeng rubbed her nose. I need to use a lot of medical plants to learn medicine, so I want to use some of the Yun family's money. Haha, hearing this, Yun Luo's mood improved even more. His face was filled with pleasure as he said, this is the key to the Yun family's treasury. If you need money, just go directly to the treasury. How much there is how much you can get. Even if you empty it, it's no problem. He said and threw a bunch of keys to Yun Luofeng. Yun Luofeng took the keys, wrinkled her brows, and jokingly said, so generous. All the money in the treasury I can take freely. When did you become so generous? I thought you would casually send me away. The girl's words obviously carried flattery. Anyone could hear that she joking. But Yun Luo did not hold back and kicked her on the butt, angrily laughing, this stinky brat, this mother actually dares to make fun of this old man. If you have the guts, then don't run. This old man will you kick your butt flower until I have the same last name as you. After hearing the old man's words, Yun Luofeng's footsteps staggered and she almost fell to the ground. But she still rubbed her butt that was hurt by Yun Luo's kick and without looking back quickly ran outside. Looking at the angry face of his father, Yun Qingya's mouth could not help but twitch a bit. He wanted to remind the old guy that the two of them originally had the same surname. However, to remind the old guy at this moment is obviously asking for trouble, therefore, Yun Qingya very sensibly closed his mouth. Chapter 18, Yun Family's Number 1 Genius, Yun Qingya, 6. Feng Yu Restaurant is Long Yuan country's most luxurious restaurant. According to rumors, this Feng Yu restaurant's owner is part of the royal family. Therefore, in all these years, no one has dared to make trouble in the Feng Yu restaurant. Even those arrogant, domineering, aristocratic children are also well behaved when they enter Feng Yu restaurant. At this time, in a deluxe private room within Feng Yu restaurant, Crown Prince Gao Ling sat with a cold face and was exuding a cold, chilling aura. I said, Your Highness Crown Prince. A man in brocade clothing sitting beside him was finally unable to endure it, frowning as he said, Didn't you make a trip to the general's manor? Since coming back from it, why do you have such a murderous look? What did you suffer in the general manor to make you so angry? Gao Ling fiercely drank some wine and on his handsome face was a burst of anger. Isn't it still because of that trash Yun Luofeng? In order to break the engagement, I let Jing Lin treat her, but in order to pester me, she refused. I do not know what that waste is thinking. It's simply impossible for us. Why does she want to bitterly pester me? The crown prince is usually gentle, only when mentioning Yun Luofeng would he become so irritated. As long as the name Yun Luofeng is mentioned, would he the desire to kill? It can't be. The brocade-clothed guy looked surprised at Gao Ling. Yun Luofeng actually has such an ambition. In order to marry you, she even ignored herself. I say, Your Royal Highness Crown Prince, looking upon this Yun Luofeng's devoted love, you should just accept her. Quote. Gao Ling coldly glared at the brocade-clothed guy, his eyes were chillingly ice-cold. Yun Luofeng, that trash, even being this Crown Prince's concubine, it's still too high a position for her. In any case, the marriage must definitely be dissolved. The brocade-clothed guy opened his folding fan, his facial features were smiling. So, you found a person with a similar physique as you to pose as you. So this way you could frame that Yun Luofeng and ruin her reputation, to dissolve the engagement with her. Gao Ling gradually calmed down, pursing his thin lips. In his eyes, there was a vague light. General Yun controls military power with millions of soldiers. If I break the engagement for no reason, it will easily provoke General Yun's anger. At that time, it will be very detrimental to our royal family. Even if Yun Luofeng will be ruined because of your framing. The brocade man clothes paused, but I heard, because you framed her, it caused the suicide of Yun Luofeng. Gao Ling snorted, his tone was very unfeeling. Does Yun Luofeng even have a good reputation? Doesn't she bear such shameful title? Snatching a man in the street, so what? Even when she cannot stand slander and commits suicide, that is because she isn't a guarded woman and cheats on her fiancé. Even when dying, she will still remain guilty. Public opinion will never stand on her side, so what kind of face does General Yun have to avenge for her? What a pity that this trash isn't dead, but actually survived. Perhaps because the extreme trust of the brocade-clothed guy beside him, he did not hide his true nature in front of the other, and his ferocious heart venomously said these words. Oh! Suddenly, a surprised voice came from the side. He only saw the brocade-clothed man looked out of the window, his eye flashing a playful smile. Your Royal Highness, is that not your trash of a fiancé? Gao Ling was startled for a moment, then he followed the brocade-clothed man's eyes and looked outside. At that moment, on the bustling streets, a girl dressed in white entered his sights. But, it only made his pupils colder. Chapter 19, Who is more dandy? 1. Something the matter. On the bustling streets, Yun Luofeng had her arms crossed over her chest. Lazily looking at the few people blocking her path, her eyes faintly flashing with evil. Glancing, it fell on the handsome young man standing in front of her. For a moment, the information about the youth jumped into her ear. Mu Shen, Mu Wusheng's half-brother. Imperial City's #1 dandiest guy, relying on the fact that his own aunt is the royal family's most favored consort, he has always been lawless. In his eyes, there was no one above him. In addition, there's the affairs between Mu Wusheng and Crown Prince Gao Ling, so during these years, he had bullied Yun Luofeng a lot. Yo, look who it is. Isn't this the Yun family's trash Yun Luofeng? Haha. Mu Shen loudly laughed twice. Toward Yun Luofeng he whistled, a pair of squinting eyes glanced up and down Yun Luofeng. What? The crown prince doesn't want you, so you came out to find a man. Gee, I can't believe that a figure like General Yun could give birth to a cheap granddaughter like you. If you really need some fun, this young master will bestow the favor of satisfying you. Quote. Yun Luofeng gently raised her lips, and evilly smiled as she sized up the dandy youth in front of her. I heard that Mu family's young master Mu Shen has some flaws in that area. Inside the manor, the concubines and maidservants are still virgins. Based on your ability, I don't know if you could satisfy me. Mu Shen's face froze. In that area he definitely had problems, so he had not touched a single maidservant. Not only that, even if he wanted to touch, he really has no way of touching them. But this matter even his grandfather is not clear about. Yun Luofeng that trash, how is she new? Of course, Mu Shen didn't know that with Yun Luofeng's medical skills, with one look she could analyze his body. She saw that he has a lack of intercourse. Therefore, it could be guessed that inside his manor, those concubines and maidservants were actually virgins. Even more, she can also clearly see why that in this imperial city, the #1 dandy lacks the ability to have intercourse. Yun Luofeng, you mother asterisk, what are you farting? Mu Shen's face was red after being exposed and his embarrassment turning into anger. This young master is very strong in that area, one night with 100 women is no problem. You mother asterisk, dare to frame this young master. This young master will now let you taste this young master's lower piece. Second young master Mu. Seeing Mu Shen about to force Yun Luofeng, his fellow aristocrat youth quickly grabbed him. This Yun Luofeng is General Maner's only grandchild. If we overdo it, General Yun will certainly not let us off easily. Quote. Scram. Mu Shen kicked that aristocrat youth, who was holding him away. With anger in his eyes, he looked at Yun Luofeng. This young master's aunt is the present-day emperor's favored consort, who dares disobey this young master. Yun Luofeng, you have slandered this young master's reputation. This young master will let you testify in front the world of this young master's innocence. In the restaurant, the brocade-clothed man standing by the window, watched the scene occurring on the street, tut-tutting as he said, Crown Prince, whether you like that Yun Luofeng or not. Yun Luofeng is still your fiancé. Will you allow her to lose her purity in that crowd? Quote. Gao Ling slightly pursed his lips, his physique was like a sharp knife, his sharp eyes looked at that white figure in the street. It has nothing to do with me. Looking for a long time, Gao Ling withdrew his eyes. He paused before saying, I would also need to thank Mu Shen for taking care of that scrap. If she really loses her purity in public, then she will have no eligibility to match me. Quote. After he said that, Gao Ling with his hands behind his back and walked out. From start to end, he did not look back at Yun Luofeng, who was in conflict with people. Chapter 20, Who is more dandy too? Mu Shen, your aunt is the emperor's extremely favored consort, but so what? My grandfather is court's general. Are you sure you have enough qualifications to compete with me about who is more dandy? Looking at the angry face of Mu Shen heading toward her, Yun Luofeng slightly creased her brows, her lips curved into a bewitching and arrogant smile. However, since you want to compare who is more dandy, then I'll let you know what a real dandy kid looks like. Clap clap clap. Yun Luofeng lifted her hands, lightly clapping 3 times. Swooshed, countless people in the uniform of the Yun clan guards instantly emerged from the originally busy street. Beat him. After saying that, Yun Luofeng raised her brows and stood to the side. She wickedly laughed as she glanced at the ignorant Mu Shen. Yun Luofeng, you are shameless. Mu Shen was even more furious, heinously angry as he loudly roared, what skill is it to let your Yun family guards come forward? If you are truly skilled, we'll do one-on-one. Yun Luofeng watched Mu Shen like she was looking at an idiot. We are competing to see who is dandier. Since we are dandy kids, why are we mentioning what is fair? Moreover, I, Yun Luofeng, have always been someone shameless, so my favorite thing to do is to gang up on someone. Mu Shen's eyes widened in shock. He had never seen someone calling themselves shameless before, and on top of that, saying it so naturally. Mu Shen, don't you like to bully people? Then, I will let you know what a real bullying is. While he was stupefied, Yun Luofeng's arrogant voice was heard. Before Mu Shen could react in time, the Yun family's guards surrounded him and started beating up the dumbfounded Mu Shen. As for those aristocratic youth who had been with Mu Shen, they have already deemed the situation unfavorable and escaped. Mu Shen was screaming from all the beating, filling the streets with his miserable wails. Yun Luofeng crossed her arms, slightly narrowing her eyes to look at panic-stricken Mu Shen who was covering his head. The wicked smile on her lips grew bigger, face full of arrogance and confidence. Now that she was Yun family's Yun Luofeng, she will gradually repay Yun family's hatred little by little to the Mu family. And this was just a start. Next, she will raise her strength and take revenge for this body's parents with her own strength. If you throw him back to Mu family, Yun Luofeng saw that it was about good and waved her hands to stop the Yun family's guard. In addition, tell Prime Minister Mu that Mu Shen was publicly rude to me and also wanted to forcibly take me on this street, so the Yun family's guards could only act and injure him in order to protect me. However, Mu Shen's behavior has caused great damage to my fragile mind, so our Yun family demands compensation from Mu family. The exact amount will be personally negotiated by my grandfather, General Yun. Shameless. This is really *****ing shameless. It was obvious that she was the one who had Mu Shen beat up to the extent of looking like a pig, but in the end, she acted like a victim. What fragile mind. Hers. Still a fragile mind. Yes, miss. Because of General Yun's prior orders, the Yun family guards meticulously executed Yun Luofeng's orders. They picked up the half-dead Mu Shen and headed to the Prime Minister estate. Prime Minister estate. Mu Xingqiu saw Mu Shen being carried in like a dead pig and was so angered that his beard shook. Although he did not like this dandy grandson, he was still part of his Mu family. Beating him up like this was the equivalent to slapping his face. So he roared loudly, your general estate must have eaten a bear's heart and leopard's gall one to dare do this to my grandson. Immediately let Yun Luo, that dog, roll over here to apologize, or else he won't see the end of this. Like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment for more.